Hi everyone. I'm really happy to be rekindling my YouTube channel with this AI for Coaches video. In this video, I'm going to help you get up to scratch with what's happening in AI for coaches, help you understand how you should be using it, how to stay competitive, and how to build a better business and survive the few years that are coming with all the changes that AI is going to bring for us. So listen up. And if you have any questions, always pop them in the comments because there'll be more videos like this coming and I love to answer your questions. So before we dive deeply into how to use AI and what to use in terms of AI, I think it's important that you understand what large language models actually are. So you've probably heard about ChatGPT and Claude and all these other tools. These are called LLMs. LLM stands for large language models, and which is basically an AI model that is trained on large amounts of data so that it can understand and generate human-like language. I've used a lot of terms that you may not understand. If you understood that, great. It probably means that you've been reading up. But to put it simply, it's basically an algorithm. It's a code that can go out there and grab information and actually make sense of it. When you're dealing with AI, you are dealing with a bot. We're used to talking about, for instance, Google bots. They go out there, they get information. In this case, they're actually making sense of it so that they can give you an answer. So the answer that they're giving you is based on its own intelligence. And obviously, at the moment, the intelligence of AI is between 6 and 9 years. So we're actually talking about, in terms of human intelligence, is still not very high. But obviously, we're talking about a human brain that is 6 to 9 years old and has all the data on the internet available to it. Again, that comes with a bit of a caveat, not all the data. There are security concerns, so not everything has been inputted. They have databases, so the information is not necessarily live. So, there are a lot of different ways in which it can give you information. But for the sake of your coaching business, the one thing that you need to understand is that these large language models can actually make sense of the information they collect. Now, they also, however, can hallucinate. And hallucinating is basically where they do not find a piece of information and they make it up. We do not really understand why they're doing that at the moment, but that's the way it works. And it's important to know about it because it's important also when you learn how to prompt these LLMs so that they can help you in your work, that you double check the information and that you also know that these things, the information it's giving you, although it sounds really smart, can sometimes be completely fake. So that's a really important fact. So let's address the important question here. So how can coaches use LLMs to help them with their business? Now, an obvious one is marketing. You can use it for social media copy. You can use it to find inspirational quotes. You can also use it to help you perhaps create a series of questions that you can ask in your coaching sessions. You can use it for session planning. You can use it to create resources for your clients. Or maybe you might have some old resources that need updating. You could use it for that as well. You can definitely use it for research. In my business, I do a lot of research in terms of my coaching clients' industry so that I can completely customize their programs. You can summarize articles, research papers. You can take a look at research and studies and statistics that have been happening in your industry that can help your clients. You can ask it and learn more about habit building. You can go deeper on the coaching tools that maybe you've been using for a while and could need a little bit of sprucing up. So there are so many different ways in which coaches can use LLMs. The main secret, though, is that, and the one thing to really understand is that a lot of people think that they're already using LLMs really well. A lot of people think that they're really great at using ChatGPT when in reality they're not. And if you've done a prompting course, you probably understand this. And that's one of the first things I did when ChatGPT came out. I did a prompt engineering course. And then after that, I went to learn more advanced prompt engineering because that is where its real power lies, especially now with deep thinking models. So there are different models that you can use in these tools. And the deep thinking ones can produce really good content. They can really help you get insight on different topics. They are really extremely useful for any kind of business. However, it's very important to learn prompting properly and learn advanced prompting that can help you in your business, because if you do not have that, you are merely scraping the surface of the things that it can help you do. It can, of course, help you a lot with automation. So automation is another amazing thing that I am actually getting into. I am actually completely automating my business using AI, my online coaching business. And it's just really exciting because now, for a long time, I have been the kind of person that I do collaborate with others, and I do have virtual assistants and people like that who help me with my business. But I'm not the kind of person that wants to hire another 10 people and really grow my business. I've done that before in my brick and mortar business. I used to have an advertising agency, but that is not something I can see happening in my future. So I am very excited about AI because it puts people like us who are a 1 or 2 person business, and it can give us so much potential and we can grow. This is going to be really amazing. We can not just grow the business and the client base, but we can also grow our income and the way we service different people. So I think this is a very exciting time for the coaching industry. And in fact, if you're interested in learning more about how you can use advanced prompting for your business, definitely subscribe to this channel because there's going to be a lot more information coming. I will also be planning some live webinars, which will be live on YouTube here. So definitely, if that's something that interests you, keep your eyes open for that. Okay, so then another very important thing that is going to help your coaching business through AI is AI tools. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really like to call them AI tools. They are just regular tools that now have AI capability within them. So obviously the developers, the companies, they're all using AI to enhance their tools. You do have to be a little bit careful in the sense it is a bit gimmicky in some of the tools. So not every tool is actually enhanced through AI. Some of the tools kind of didn't really need it. Let's put it that way. Or maybe they just haven't thought of a smart way of adding extra features. But in reality, there are a lot of tools out there that can really help you with your coaching business, and they can really help you with the different parts of the business. Automation is a very important thing. It's something I'm going to be talking about a lot on this channel. It's something I'm very excited about. But let's talk a little bit about the tools that are already out there, that already have AI in them, that you can already use. And especially about the different uses, because especially when it comes to marketing, there are some sensitivities. If you're one of my followers, you probably already know that one of my core strengths is search engine optimization, which I have now obviously extended to GEO, which is Generative Engine Optimization. So one of the things I'm working with at the moment, I'm collaborating with some amazing, really experienced people in the field, and I'm actually testing on a number of sites. And basically, I will be sharing what I find out with you. I'm already getting leads myself from places like ChatGPT and Perplexity. So watch this space. I will be telling you a lot more about that. But apart from actually getting business directly and getting visibility from these LLMs directly, there are also these tools that we can already use. And one of the most used is their capability to actually write blogs, their capability to perhaps correct what you're writing, to write emails for newsletters, to write social media. And it's all great. And I think it's something that is very important and it definitely should be used, but it should be also used with a little bit of caution. So when it comes to blogging, I certainly, from what I'm seeing on the different sites, certainly do not recommend a couple of things. So do not write all your content with AI and do not translate your content with AI. These two things are going to definitely have a negative effect on your traffic coming from search engines, from Google specifically. So definitely for now, and even the future, I would say do not go there. It is, however, a great opportunity to be able to start from something like a video, like this one, then use your transcript so that you can help AI learn your voice and then start writing in your voice. That has a little bit of a different process. And then you can use tools to actually identify how human or how AI written it is being detected as, because AI detection in terms of copy is going to be a big one in the future. It's a big one already, actually. In the future, it's probably going to be something we don't even talk about because it will be so innate in everything. So definitely the writing tools. Be very careful. If what you're doing is, if you're SEOing your content, do not use ChatGPT especially, but also other tools for SEO. I have tested practically every top end tool on the market, and there is nothing so far that is performing as well as just the old fashioned SEO knowledge that we already have. So SEOing the old fashioned way and actually writing the old fashioned way. So far, things haven't changed so much. We are seeing changes in the way we structure our blogs, definitely, so that we can also be found more easily in generative engines. However, we are not at a stage where we actually know everything about them. So definitely more information about that coming soon. But okay, so apart from the writing ones, which is an obvious one, again, writing for social media, repurposing the content that you have. So repurposing tools, I would say, are definitely the most important tools you can use at the moment. You can have a blog post, you can repurpose that for social media, you can have a video where you can repurpose that as a blog. It's important that you use the right tools. If you're interested in actually the tools for all these things that I'm talking about, you can actually find them. I'm going to put a link under this video. I have written a blog post, and you actually have a description and a link to every single tool that you can use for the things I'm mentioning. I'm not going to go into the different tools here because that is not the scope of the video. I just want you to understand the potential here, and it's just an introductory video. But definitely, if you want to go into all the different tools and what these tools can do for you, just pop into the description below. Another very important tool, which I'm totally excited about, is the video repurposing tools. You can go from video to social and blog, or you can go the other way around. I think starting from video is going to be slightly of an easier workflow. Either case, I think blogging is something that should definitely be as humanized as possible. So definitely make sure that although you get an AI to read the transcript, and the transcript, it can learn your own voice and the way you speak and the words you use, and it can write like that, you still want to make sure that you give it a good human proofread in the end, adjust it, and also make sure you put it through the detection tools. So that you're safeguarding yourself for any penalties for AI that might be coming. We are seeing some happening. We're also seeing, unfortunately, some traffic dropping on Google, but this is purely based on the experiments that Google is running with the different AI results and things like that. So hopefully they will find a solution that works better for people who are ranking organically and also running Google ads in the short term. But there's a lot of experimentation from their end happening there. The video tools are my most favorite because you can really start from something that is long form and repurpose it in lots of different ways. And it's definitely still going to be your own voice. There is also, at the moment, I believe, a very great opportunity with social media. Social media for a while had been really pulling back visibility, and what they're doing now is they're actually changing their algorithm because of TikTok, and it's becoming more discoverable. And this discoverability is actually something that I think social media was always supposed to be about. So I think at least for a couple of years, we will be able to benefit from this discoverability. Who knows where they will go next? But I think it's a great opportunity to be able to go out there as well. Of course, if you're doing search engine optimization, generative engine optimization, being out there on social media is very important. I am a big believer in having one nice little valuable piece of content and then repurposing as much as possible. And of course, AI is fantastic for this. I will be telling you more about the tools. You can hang around and wait for some tutorials to come here in the future. And of course, if you ask questions directly in the comments, I will be able to perhaps work on the things that you need a little bit fast. Okay, so definitely video tools. So things that can take a long form video like this one into lots of shorts that can be used on Instagram, on TikTok, and all these other platforms, of course, even on YouTube. There are a lot of tools now that really help you shorten the editing and creating the show notes and all of that. So that's definitely reduced the friction there. So if you're a coach and maybe you've been blogging and you've been thinking, oh, I could so easily turn my blogs into a podcast, or even the other way around, to create podcasts at the moment has become particularly easy. There are tools that can allow you to literally get the written word and turn that into the podcast with an AI voice. Easiest thing to do. Still a little robotic for my taste. It does sound much more human than it used to, but if you ask me, it's not quite there. So I do prefer if you record your own voice and then just use one of these great tools to be able to edit it and clean it up. So yeah, so I think those are the most important ones. We are going to see coaching platforms and also other tools definitely have more AI tools. At this point in time, I don't think that any of the tools have any features that are worth writing home about. As they do, you can follow this channel and I will be sure to share them with you. If you're curious about how AI is going to develop and curious about the tools that are already out there, there are a couple of things you can do. Subscribe to this channel and also leave your questions in the comments. And of course, click on the blog post in the description and you'll be able to see a very long, detailed description of all the different tools. So you can pick and choose the ones that you want to try for your specific needs. That's all from me today. Thank you very much for joining me and see you in next week's video.